Oh, Africa's largest firm, Naspers, has been buoying the JSE today. After plunging last week, it rose again by more than 2% today. This despite Naspers' woes over claims about the behaviour of its subsidiary, Multichoice.
Yeah, the share price is still largely being driven by Naspers' investment in an e-commerce and gaming giant in China called Tencent. There is some evidence to suggest that Multichoice paid SABC and ANN7 not only to carry their channels on its pay TV platform DSTV, but also to influence government to change its policy on encryption. Naspers has been anti-encryption. It will lead to more competition in pay TV, since it will make it easier for other players to set up platforms at lower cost. Companies are allowed to lobby government with respect to policy, but there are calls for an investigation into whether or not Multichoice breached an ethical line and was involved in bribery. Multichoice says it will investigate the claims.
Earlier, we spoke to CEO of Pan-African Investment and Research Services, Iraj Abedian. This is an excerpt of a longer interview which we did with him, which is coming up as part of our end-of-year series of interviews looking at the economic year that was. Francis asked him for an assessment of Naspers' response to the claims around Multichoice.
And they must come out and man up. If they have participated in unethical bribery and or any kind of unethical conduct, financially or otherwise, directly or indirectly, there's absolutely no excuse. They need to man up, they need to pay up, and they need to make sure that whoever in their governance structures, executive or non-executive, have been the source of it, they should be named, shamed, and penalized.
And what if it goes all the way to the top?
Absolutely. The higher it goes, the better. If it can go to the President Zuma, it must go to the top of Naspers. There shouldn't be any untouchables. The minute that we create untouchables within the economy, we are creating the path to impoverishment.
So the claim is that Koos Bekker himself, the chair, pushed for a certain policy outcome. But I do think we need to separate. Lobbying is allowed, but I guess if you're paying companies to then influence ministers, that's the idea. You may as well be paying the ministers. So that's the concern, the payment, not the lobbying.
Lobbying is fine. The market economy works on lobbying. Open lobbying.
You're allowed to say, we want this, push for it. Yeah.
And you are not only allowed to, I would go one step further, so that the economy and the businesses, various sectors, should have offices in the parliament to say this is what's good for our business. They may not be listened to, they may be compromised, but they need to make it clear what is good for that sector. That's absolutely correct, but it must be open. The minute that you cut deals, or you cut deals with the intermediaries that you trust, that is bribe. Yeah. Then that's not lobbying, that is not policy engagement, that's pure unethical abuse.
Let's take a look at how the markets perform.